We're live, baby. Episode 14, MMA Gossip. You know, the usual. Like, comment, subscribe. If you're already on YouTube, just hit that big red button. It'll really help us out. You know, at MMA X Gossip on Instagram, at MMA X Gossip on Twitter, Gmail, the usual. And if you guys notice, we got a special guest with us today, fourth man in the booth, the NJ Betting Guru. His name's Jordan. You can follow him on Twitter, at NJ Betting Guru. On Instagram at NJ Betting Guru New, and that's his website as well, right? njbettingguru.com.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So talk to us, man. We got 4 Jersey boys on the mic. What's going on, man? I know you're back in Jersey now, right? You were in Philly for a little bit.
Of course, man. Actually, I'm still. If you look around, we do a little show. Still got some. Still waiting on a sofa. You know what I mean? We're doing our best here, but you know, growing every day, bigger and better, right? But you know, I appreciate you guys having me. You know, NJ Betting Guru New, you did a great job introducing me, guys. And you know what? Members of the Guru Squad, I appreciate you guys, the support, and I'm always going to support fellow members of the squad, guys. My man.
Fight Night in Jersey, baby. Yeah, where in Jersey are you from, if you don't mind me asking?
So I'm from Cherry Hill originally, and now I live in Runnymede. I was over in Philly for a little bit, and it just wasn't for me, bro. I'm a Jersey boy at heart, and Philly's just a whole different type of living, you know what I mean?
But, yeah, it was because of your dog, too, right?
Yeah,
your dog's name's Carson, is that his name?
Yep.
Like so, Carson Wentz?
Of course. Not a question, right? Now, are you guys from North Jersey or are you guys from South Jersey?
North.
So you're like Giants fans and stuff?
Unfortunately.
Characterful. All right, we'll take it. But
yeah, bro. Talk to us, bro. What got you into this whole thing?
So yeah, there we go. So this is how it started, right? So actually my little brother, who I just moved 3 doors down from him, and his girlfriend, him and one of our other boys, his best friend, they started like a couple pages messing around, and I was always in sales. I was a sales manager at the time, and I always, you know, in the back of my mind, I always was going to move to Vegas because every time I would go out to Vegas, I played poker for a living for 6 years. I would literally go out there and just smash parlays. I remember times like where I was hitting parlays, like it was just crazy. And I would always do it every year. I would go out there and play poker. And I always said like, hey, like I could definitely go out here and make a solid 6-figure living just betting parlays. And I always considered in the back of my mind going out to Vegas. And then all of a sudden the legalization happened, and everything, you know, obviously, you know what happened, Philadelphia, New Jersey, and now all of a sudden Vegas came to me. So that was one part of the puzzle. Then the next part was, like I said, they gave me the idea of, oh, wow, like, you know, you should start posting your pics. And it was kind of just like me talking shit to them. Am I allowed to curse on here? All right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude, curse away.
Cool. So it was kind of me just talking shit to them and saying, bro, if you guys are going to do something, you should do something right. Put the proper hashtags. Take pride in all of your work. If you're going to do something, you know, that you put your name behind, make sure that you're 100% behind it. And so I showed them, you know, they're like, oh, yeah. So I showed them what to do. All of a sudden, I started posting just my wins in the proper way. People started hitting me up like, oh, can we pay you beforehand? So I did that. Then I used my marketing, started doing a little bit of ads. Obviously, Instagram doesn't let you run ads for very long, shut me down very quick. There was actually an original Guru page, just the new. But I got a little bit of a following there, got up to 1,000 people in a couple days, and I realized, hey, like people really have an interest in this. So that's Carson right there. He wanted to say hi. But,
that's what I'm saying. I got my dog. He always shows up too, bro.
So that's where it started, basically. And then I just, once the Instagram ads got shut down, I had a taste of it, though. For a while there, I was like, oh, man, this is a crazy opportunity. The Instagram was totally shut down, and I was like, wow, like, you know, that sucked. You know, I was sitting on it. I was back working as a sales manager, and it was like, wow, it was a crazy opportunity, but it is what it is. All of a sudden, one day, I got an alert in my email saying, hey, basically, you're back. You know, and then I got back, and that's where the news started from. And then we haven't looked back. We, instead of going the Instagram route, we reached out to start with battle rappers. If you guys remember, we had Goods the Animal, Conceited, DNA, K-Shine, Charlie Clips. That's where the original guys for the Guru promotion started. And again, became pretty, you know, good friends with a couple of those guys. They were always behind me, willing to promote me whenever I needed them. You know, they, in exchange for picks sometimes. Obviously, there's cash behind it. And then we got into the fighter promos, because basically, you know, we grew and we were growing as a squad with all the other sports. And, people that have been here for the last year, I think I went on a run last year. I made like over 200 grand in parlays in like a couple months span. Like people saw that and we were just crushing it. You know what I mean? And it was legit. People were making money. People were happy. Let me get that from him real fast. I'm sorry.
No worries, bro. Dog.
Bro, all of us have dogs, bro. All three of us have dogs.
Well, I figure on the playback, people are going to appreciate that. So, so that's how we got into it. And then the fighter promos were kind of with quarantine and everything. Basically, I had this whole big thing. And once again, for the second time now with quarantine, but now the whole rest of the country was in the same boat, was how am I going to generate money, right? So the only thing I had, and luckily I already had started building a big name for myself with my UFC picks because of the results. The only thing that was a little questionable was because I would usually only pick my top picks from the UFC card and then use them with my favorite, college football, college basketball picks, NFL picks, and really be able to maximize value in the parlays with the UFC. And that's why pretty much every UFC Saturday we were hitting for, 7, 10, 15, 20,000, just bang, 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 because I was pulling it like that. So I had the name for the UFC, but now with quarantine, all we had was UFC. So now I had to take that knowledge and take that to the next level. So with that, as you guys have seen recently, started reaching out to fighters and, again, real recognizes real, and a good businessman, money talks, right? So, I started building relationships. As you guys saw with Bryce Mitchell, Luis Pena, were a couple of the first people to do it. And that promo was great. So started going, generated more income from that, generated more of a following, and just started reaching out to, and now it's to the point where people are starting to reach out to me. We have fighters that a lot of them, after they ran promos, if you look at the likes, different comments and stuff, like now they're squad members themselves, because again, we're not just about betting here. We love betting, we love making money, but as you see, we're about fitness, we're about eating clean, and we're about positivity. I went through a breakup a couple months back, and ever since then, I've had so many people reach out to me and tell me how they look forward to waking up every day and seeing my positivity. They're hurt, they've gone through breakups, or they've gone through bad times in life, and that's what I'm here for, because I want to bring them positivity and show them, listen, you never have to put your head down and give up. You sit there, you persevere, you work hard, you're going to end up finding happiness if you give yourself the chance to be happy and to be successful. But it's not going to come if you sit there and eat Fritos all day and Doritos and don't do anything about it and sit there and feel sorry for yourself either. So that's kind of the squad philosophy.
Dude, I'm telling you, I started following you on Instagram, and then you posting the stories all the time. I'm all about that, the super positivity. And I see your stories, and dude, you got that, like, the it factor, I want to say, because I just kept watching your stories. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just watching what you're doing.
I appreciate that, bro.
It sounds so, I'm taking a shit, and I'm watching what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing this. So I'm telling the boys, I'm like, yo, bro, we got to get this kid on the podcast. Like, he's growing right now. Let's get on the rise with him. Like, I love to see what you're doing. The positivity just got me going. And just, like I told them, I said, we got to have a guest on the show. I said, they both followed you on Instagram, and they're like, let's do it, bro.
I appreciate it, fellas. And that's what we're all here for, man. And hopefully, like, this is just the tip of the iceberg, in my mind. I see the Nelk Boys. I don't know if you guys were watching Nelk Boys drop last night.
Oh yeah, full send, bro.
Crazy, bro. 350,000 people on buy their site. Do that math. That's got to be $50 million. What's that?
I said for their drop. It's crazy.
Did you guys get something last night?
No, I didn't, but I was on the site. I was looking at the fishing lures, all the shit.
Bro, we almost were in line for like an hour after we got it, right? So real fast, I got a couple of full send tank tops because my little bro, like, I wanted to surprise him. I was like, oh, and I got like a baby blue Nelk Boys one. And then I send him a screenshot like, yo, bro, I got you. He sends me one back. He was doing the same thing, dude. Like, we didn't even talk to each other. And he got this. It was hilarious, bro. So,
dude, I used to watch their pranks and shit all the time. I used to watch their pranks all the time.
Yeah. And now just like their positivity and stuff is just the vibe is showing that's where the trend's going towards. Logan Paul, Jake Paul. I used to hear those names and I'd be like, a little crit, but no, like they're genuine people and they kind of fit in the same guru mentality. You know what I mean? And that's who I'm trying to surround myself with as we grow. People like you know what I mean? Just all different influencer levels. Just growing as long as you're positive. But the one thing about the squad that people don't seem to understand, if you say something negative, it's not too hard to click that block button. And then people want to bitch about it afterwards. Well, bro, like, why were you a negative little pussy? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to be that, like, go somewhere else, right? Like, it's that simple. Like, you want to whine about it and create 15 other accounts and stalk me, and then like, you want to stalk another man that you just met on the internet? Like, it's weird, right? Like, because you talk shit and he blocks you and told you not to. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. But
Yeah, man, you got these keyboard warriors that like they remind me of that South Park episode with the fat guy sitting behind the computer just eating Cheetos.
Yeah.
Like all he does is just click, 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 but
Yep.
got nothing behind it, man. What's
And
your
it's the worst in the UFC because you get these keyboard warriors like talking shit to guys that are getting in a cage fighting for a fucking living. It's like, yo, what are you doing right home? You get your hand in a bag of Fritos or some shit, dude. Like, you get up there and do that.
Yeah,
Exactly. Bro.
Crazy, bro. Yo, so real quick, I was just on your Instagram. I just followed you as well on like my personal page. You working out at the Attilis in Belmar? Or how is that?
Yeah.
Dude, I love that. I love that dude, bro. I love everything that he's about right now, that Ian Smith.
Yeah,
Like,
so we'll on Thursday we'll be posting training with Ian. Me and a couple of my buddies we're gonna do a group session with Ian. So you'll see some posts with that pushing like it's all the stuff that you see them doing. We'll be doing that on Thursday on the Guru page. So
is the man, bro. We're down in me and Chris over here down in Cape May right now, and there's another Attilis down here with the owner Chris who knows Ian, and we're dying for it to fucking open up, bro.
Yeah.
Dying.
Yeah, good luck with that. That guy's he's a little different than Ian and Frank. I'll tell you
Oh
that.
yeah, for sure. He always shouts them out. He's like, I'm a little different, but I'm proud of him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, and it's just it's the same thing. If anything with this quarantine, I felt like it was almost necessary for a lot of people to step back, and I feel like it almost like Instagram and stuff got enhanced, and people and the ability to create content and people's to view it and eyes to see it. That was one part of it, but at the same time, people are going outside more. People are looking to be active more because now they say that this virus is going to deteriorate your body unless you're physically fit. So what did I do? I didn't run before, but you know what? I started running. I started working out, and I don't care if I get the virus. I want to know that I'm good. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of other people have that same mentality where obviously it's not a good thing, but if you're going to pull out silver linings, I think that's definitely one of them.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And that's like a quarantine thing. Like me, I never run. Like me, all three of us, we've done jiu-jitsu before, like trying to stay active in the gym and shit. Now everything's closed, so we haven't been doing anything. But before quarantine and stuff, what were you – so I know you said you got into the UFC more because of the success, and then it rolled into quarantine. MMA was like the only sport on. What was your main sport before that? Like were you like an NFL? Because I know you had NFL packages and stuff.
Yeah, so before UFC, like I said, UFC was over like the last 2 years where I really got like dialed in and like, we'll get into my process later. I think that was one of the questions you guys had on the list of, what I do when I start with the UFC. And I feel like I have it down to a pretty good science now. And now I have my notes, pretty stockpiled of when I was watching the fight, stuff like that. So I have a pretty big database built up for UFC right now that I think gives me an edge over anybody else who's going to try and do it, to be completely honest. Because now I have a couple of years behind, and I feel like I have a unique sports mind where the combination is just how you're going to catch up to that now. So you might as well follow the guru because nobody else is catching up. You know what I mean? That's how I feel in my mind. But
I feel, dude, seriously, for real.
Yo, I have an interesting, because you were talking, based on your Instagram page and based on what you were saying prior, a lot of what you do is parlays. Am I correct when I say that?
That's right, of course.
So what do you say to those people who say that Vegas is built off parlays and parlays aren't like long-term profit? What do you say to those people?
So that's an old school mindset, right? Now math will tell difference. So back in the day, parlay odds, everything was different. It wasn't how it is now. The odds weren't as on point as they are now. So to me, if you give me a fighter, right, where I have to risk, even if you just do a 2-team parlay, even if you don't have to do crazy like long shot parlays like we do, but even if you do, if a fighter's minus 190 and another fighter's minus 150, right? Why would you risk extra money instead of just risking? Let's use a $100 unit, right? You risk $100. You parlay those two. Now, both of them are kind of favorites, but now you're going to probably get like 150 back on that win, where if you bet them individually, you're going to be risking almost double your money. It just doesn't make any sense. The numbers just don't add up, where if you take parlays, you're killing the odds. You lose that 1-2-team parlay, you lose 1 unit. But now you win one, now you win 1.5. So automatically you're up 0.5. But now if you go the other way, you're risking almost 4 units to get back 2. It just doesn't make any sense. And then you lose it, and now you're catching up. So in my eyes, I think that's what Vegas is built on, and they started spreading that around because the smart thing would be to kill the juice because that's how they make their money. You know what I mean? Like, that's my philosophy on parlays, and it works for us. You know what I mean? Sometimes we have weeks where we go and we lose huge, and it doesn't look good, right? But
I know exactly what you're thinking right now.
is that
No, I'm about to make fun of Matt.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Because I have a horrible habit, dude. Like, I've been gambling for a long time. I'm not good at it. I know I suck. But I just love to gamble on UFC. It's exciting. It's quick. It's not like waiting to the end of a fucking 3-hour football game.
Exactly.
Hard, like there's a fight every 15 minutes basically. But I get in a habit of, if I'm down, I just keep trying to double a straight bet until I make my money back, to the point where I don't care what the odds are, I'll just hammer away.
Really?
Dude, it's horrible.
I've been there at stages in life. I hear you, bro. I hear you.
It's horrible.
But yeah, for sure. So it's like odds. So you lose. Let's say we lose back-to-back weeks. Realistically, if we hit 2 out of 4 weeks, right, and that's a goal, right? So that's like a minimum 2 out of 4 weeks. We're making thousands and thousands of dollars a month, right? So now all of a sudden we have a good month. We hit 3 out of 4. Now we're stockpiled for 3-4 months at a time that we could lose and just break even. So people don't realize when they're like, oh, you have millions of dollars. Like, how are you? These money came from other parlay wins. That's why we parlay. So even if you have a bad couple week run, it doesn't matter, because in the long term, we're up more and it balances out because of the odds and the way that we parlay. So that's why the Guru parlays, to answer your question.
I'm only parlaying from now on.
Yeah, right? He just convinced me, man. You're living proof that parlays work and are effective long term, which is what,
And hopefully I'm living proof now that, if you put your mind to something just like you guys are doing, that's why I want to do the show, because I do the same thing, right? That's how I built. I reach out to other influencers, and it makes me so angry when somebody leaves you on red. If you reach out to somebody and ask them if they want to do a promotion, they want to, if you have interest in their brand and you want to give their brand money, you should at least give that person a reply. Even if you don't want to do it, if somebody's offering to give you money for something that you've built and you don't respond to them, I just think that's the most disrespectful, most arrogant move that somebody could do. I reached out to Darren Till, right? Not Darren Till's manager, not anybody else. Darren Till, who's probably, if not the biggest name in MMA right now with his Instagram, right? Like the way that he's popping his engagement. He answered me personally with a promo. If Darren Till can answer me, who can answer me right now in the UFC? But there's guys that don't. So how does that even make sense, right? It doesn't. But I'll tell you what, also dealing with Darren Till, I'll use him as an example and showing how hard work and dedication gets people where they are. The second I started dealing with Darren Till, I knew why that guy got to where he is today and why he's growing his brand at such a rapid rate, because he reached out to me. He's like, I want to see the preview videos. I want to see exactly what you want. I want you to text my girlfriend and tell her exactly what you want me to say. We're going to go over it. And he asked me about 6 different times exactly what I wanted. He bullet pointed it out. And then if you look at the video, he did a great job on it. And then he took it to a whole nother level by he couldn't get the screenshots to show the full parlay wins in the story. So he not only went and posted one on the story and added me, but he went and did 3 separate story posts of each parlay to make sure that they understood exactly what I was bringing to the table, and I got the maximum value out of my promotion. And that's why, going that extra level, I know that he does that in his training, he does that in his eating, because we talked about it. And that's what I see separates him from the lower tier, or not lower, but guys not as high up on the totem pole as Darren Till. That's an example of hard work and dedication getting you to that top level.
Yeah, bro. When I said the same thing to these guys, when I reached out to you on Instagram, I just reached out and I was like, all right, guys, this is what I'm going to say to him. Like, are you cool with this? I'm just going to fire away. I sent it to you. You go, let's do it. I texted him back. I was like, yeah, he said yes. Mike goes, that was quick. Like, dude, that was that was fucking awesome of you, bro.
I told you, real recognizes real, bro.
Like, for real.
I appreciate you. Like, you know what I mean? And of course, if somebody's going to reach out to me, if I have the time in my day to do it, usually I'm going to charge. You know what I mean? Because if you don't charge, that's how you delude your brand eventually. Once you get to the point of where you can start charging, I've spent a solid, nice 6-figure chunks in building my brand, right? So I spent that money. You know what I mean? Other people are going to have to do the same thing to get to that level if they want to get to that level. It's just, it's fair is fair usually. But then there's situations like this, you guys, where, you also have to take a shot at people that are up and coming, and you see good, genuine people, and you give them there's a happy median, I guess, of trying not to delude your brand and ruin your worth, but at the same time also letting other people grow and showing that real recognizes real, you know what I mean? So you got to kind of weigh that, I guess, a little bit. And it's all new, bro. I'm learning as I go. You know what I mean?
Dude, absolutely, bro. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but one thing I did want to ask you before you go is when you're doing your breakdown, I watch your breakdown shows a lot. How much time are you spending just straight up watching their past fights? Like what goes into that without giving away your secret sauce? You know what I mean?
So when I do the breakdown video is actually the beginning of my process for the week. Now, I touched on how I have my notes and everything of previous fights. And I also do have a photographic memory that I was blessed with. So a lot of things, like, I can go back and I can picture exactly how they matched up with different fighters and stuff like that. And I feel like that gives me a competitive edge. When I talk about that to my boys and stuff, they, you know, they laugh, and now they're starting to see, like, maybe there is something to that with things that I remember and stuff. But the start of the process is I have that notebook. Obviously, I have the foundation of the knowledge. Then I go and I refresh my memory, because no matter how good a memory is, you still need refreshers, right? So I'll go and I'll look at the records, and I'll go and I'll refresh my memory on that as I'm making a preview video. So the preview video is the start of the pick process. So after I go through the preview video, it kind of has my memory refreshed, but I slacked for a couple weeks there when I was getting it, and I realized I can never do this again, because that's what got me there. And then last week I got back to it and looked at the results. I watched at least 3 to 5 of every fight that the fighter has had, every matchup, at least 3 to 5 of all of their last fights, if not more. And so I have an idea of how strong their hips are, the way that they're developing, what their skill set is, if they're going to get taken down, if they're going to be able to get back up, if they're going to be able to stuff a takedown with their hip. So many different factors go in to just that part, because that's the first thing. Because the worst thing is getting in a fight, and now Dana White's kind of like outlawed a little bit of that boring fight. But if you go back a year or two ago, people, if they took somebody down, they would just keep them down for 3 rounds, and they knew they couldn't get up, and that would be it. You know, so that's where that kind of came from. Was the first thing I look for is wrestling in somebody's hips. Because somebody doesn't have hips, is for somebody to take them down, they're not going to be able to go far in the UFC. Honestly, that's Guru secret number 1, is looking at somebody's hip strength. Brandon Allen, you talk about hip strength. Did you see what that dude did the other night? I know he got a little sloppy, and he even called himself right out on that. But the way that dude knew when he got in positions, he was so strong. And Kama Worthy was another example. Now, that wasn't hips. That was grown man strength. But the way that Pena had his back for all second round, right? He had a 2-on-1 on his left wrist that he couldn't get under. With somebody, he could not break that grip for the whole round, and eventually he overpowered him. Pena got so, his heart just got, everything got sucked out of him. You could see when he realized that he could not choke this guy out. He had him in a position, and he was just too strong that he could not submit this dude. Kama then used his hips, reversed the position on him to end that round, if you guys remember. Or I think Pena ended up getting back, but towards the end of the round, and it was just all brute strength the way that he did that.
Yeah.
So hips are the number 1 thing you look for when it comes to UFC. A lot of times when the striking's close. Now, obviously, we saw a couple weeks ago with Max Roskopf that if the grappling's there, hips are there, but you don't have the striking, you still can't make it. So you got to obviously then take other factors and make sure the striking is close. But I've been doing this for a while now, so I know how many factors. You know, I just rattled off a couple to you guys, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's probably, 50, 100 different things more that I could rattle off like that right now that all go through my mind as I'm capping these fights. But that gives you a little bit of insight into what I do, at least.
And it's funny you say that about Luis Pena, because you remember his last fight against Steve Garcia, he was in the same boat. He had him down for 3 rounds and could not finish the fight.
Yeah.
So in that moment, he was probably thinking back to that fight, got his head. He's like, I keep getting these guys here. I'm on their back for 5 minutes, and I can't end the fight. It's got to be deflating after a while.
So disheartening. It's got to be. And Luis is a great dude. He's a squad member. You know what I mean? It sucked. Like, I thought, because that's how I saw the fight going. I thought he was choking him out. You know, and I'm mad because I had a submission bet in there. Instead of Pena, I put it in there. And I would have hit it, because even though it wasn't him that submitted, he ended up losing by submission. So would have been a monster parlay. And for some reason, because we had we had a bad week the week before, I didn't want to throw it in there. I wanted to be safer. And in hindsight, it would have been epic, but happens, right?
Yeah. How much stock are you putting into the smaller cage?
So the smaller cage, right? I don't know. If anything, I think it just forces action more. I think Dana White kind of was leaning towards that anyway, of making you push the action. And I think, guys, the way that they train, if you look, everything's trending towards getting right to the cage anyway. So as soon as somebody gets taken down, the first thing they do is scurry their back right to the cage. Like, you know what I mean? They like to be up against the cage. If you watch these guys train, they train up against a wall majority of the time with their grappling and their striking a lot of the time. So I don't know. I think guys have adapted pretty quickly to it, and I really don't think, a fight's a fight when it comes down to it. That dancing stuff isn't really going to happen anymore in the UFC, because Dana White's not going to let you have a fight, really, if you do that. So I think it's best for the sport, and I think the guys are adapting, and they want those bonuses. When it comes down to it, you ask any fighter, they go in there, they want to make that $50K, because they don't get paid that well a lot of time. But then some do. Some obviously make epic money, but then they want to make sure that they get that next bigger paycheck and build a bigger following. So either way you look at it, I think the smaller cage is beneficial for action and for the fighters in the long run. it does hurt the grappler a little bit now because obviously the fence is closer, and once somebody gets to the fence, it's a lot tougher to submit somebody. But if somebody's that bigger, again, they're not going to get to the cage, and it's not going to matter anyway. So that's how I feel about that in a nutshell.
It's going to be interesting to see guys like Adesanya that I probably like the bigger cage because how long they are and all that shit and how he likes to keep his distance and pick his shots. You get a guy in there, like even like a guy like Costa, he's going to get dirty. He wants to get dirty with him, and the cage is that much smaller. It's going to be interesting to see how he gauges his distance.
Yeah, shout out to Adesanya, by the way, dude. He just, if you check out his story right now, usually, he's all Black Lives Matter. He's always talking about, his personal struggles, but he just posted a dude. He's actually a white guy who was in the hospital in critical care. Apparently, somebody was calling this, I think it was a lady calling her the N-word, and he defended her, and by defending her, he got stabbed in his neck and he got stabbed in his hand. And Adesanya posted and he said, this is the type of person that we need to protect. Like, so now, because at first I think there was side, and now I think he's helping bring everything together. Not that I want to get too much into that, but I did want to point that out because I just saw that a couple minutes before I got on here. So I thought that was really dope that he did that.
Yeah, we shouted out Bobby Green last week. I don't know if you saw his post-fight for doing the same thing, just using his platform to spread the love, not the hate. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Positivity, baby.
Yes, sir. That's what we do.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like Chris said, we don't want to take much of your time, but I just want to give the audience a little sneak preview into your website. Like you have a bunch of packages that people can sign up for various different sports for various different lengths of time. I just wanted to give you that shout out so people go see your website, njbettingguru.com. If you want to follow the Betting Guru, join the squad, definitely go hit up this site. Again, he's on Twitter as well, NJ Betting Guru, and on Instagram, he's NJ Betting Guru New.
And YouTube Instagram as well. That's where we do the preview video posts.
And obviously YouTube, and this video right here will be on YouTube in a couple hours, absolutely, to the public. Is there anything else you want to, shed light on?
I have one more question. One more question.
Go ahead, Matt.
What do you got?
Yo, so I know you've probably been on a lot of shit in your life, right? Do you remember off the top of your head the most heartbreaking loss that you've had?
Heartbreaking. I mean, that's part. I thought you were going
it's a long list.
This was kind of heartbreaking, actually. So, I told you I played poker for a living, right? I dated a girl. I took her to Vegas for like 6 weeks after I think I won I won a $60,000 poker tournament at the Borgata, and I won another little run. I think I had like a $75,000 like 5-day run in tournaments. Went over to Las Vegas. Should have won another tournament. Got it all in like real good with 9 or 10 people left for the monster chip lead. This guy sucked out on me. So I was playing really well. I made like another $7 or $8 grand. And then I went back to the room, and she just wanted to stay there and just stay in the room and do her. And like she didn't want me to gamble, even though we went to Vegas for me to play poker. Like she didn't want me to gamble, so I literally would have to sneak down into the sports book to get bets in, right? So I went down. And this was the first time I ever bet soccer. It was Germany versus Italy, right? If you remember that Germany versus Italy game with that dude with the mohawk, the dyed mohawk.
Oh, Balotelli.
When Italy was a giant underdog. So I go in there, there's all these German guys. They're like, yeah, Germany's going to crush them. So I'm like, all right. I had like $7 grand on me that I just ran out. I threw $7 grand on Germany blindly. And they're like, oh, it's a lot, right? So like I'm like, oh, like that's fine. All of a sudden, bro, like if you remember, like it was very early in the first half that game got out of control in Italy's favor. It was the most ridiculous bet I ever did. It was the most disappointing thing I ever did. So that's probably the answer to that question.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Dude, Matt's had his fair share of those, bro.
Oh yeah. Saints Vikings. That was a horrible one.
Oh.
Well, I mean, even the Eagles game. How about the Eagles game that they blew? I mean, I think I would have won like another like $8,000 or $9,000. Like, but if you guys watch the page, you guys see every week like that we don't win. We have horrible beats like that for tens of thousands of dollars when we don't hit it. You know what I mean? If we don't hit it, most of the time we're real close. You know, always.
I was gonna realize the sketchy shit that happens in sports until you start gambling and you start really paying attention. There's a difference between being a fan and a gambler, and you start watching. You're like, what the fuck is this? Sometimes it's crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but the NJ Betting Guru page is very green. Very green.
Yeah.
If only we spoke to you last week after the week that I had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You have a good week, huh?
Oh, no.
All right.
It's all right.
Yeah, no, but no, I definitely appreciate you guys, and you know what I mean. See you in the Gramiverse or whatever it is, the Instagram, YouTube. But appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to spread the name and reach out and do this.
Yeah, I speak for all of us when I say thanks for coming on our show. We appreciate you for taking time out of your day. We know you're on the up and up. Now we're just trying to spread the love to other people to let them know that you're on the up and up. We're 100% behind you. MMA Gossip is part of your squad now. We appreciate you. And be well. Love mixed martial arts, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Thank you, bro.